Hi everyone, it's Ed from Runnable, and today I'm going to be doing a first run review of the Adidas Evo SL, Adidas's new super daily trainer that I've been using in a few runs in the UK and subsequently a few runs in Berlin, where I went on a little mini city break just the last few days. And I have to say, spoiler alert, I'm really liking this shoe. So if you want to get the lowdown of this shoe, find out what it was like on my runs, see a bit of footage of the Berlin half marathon, which I didn't run in, I'll explain that later, and also hear my likes and dislikes around the shoe. Just feel free to keep watching. There's some run footage coming up next of me running around my local park, but also running in Berlin. The Berlin bit's a bit more interesting because I'm showing you part of the Berlin Marathon as they're finishing across the finish line. So yeah, so if you want to see that and you also want to hear my views on the Adidas Evo SL, please continue to watch. I'll do a full review of this shoe a bit later in this episode, but like I said, spoiler alert, it's good news for those that are thinking of buying this shoe. I've got some good pointers for you. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Watch the run footage. See you later. Bye.
Sicht mit dabei Gisa Krause und ist das Zweite, auf die wir achten
Runnable. Like the event village. They always look that way. Hi, it's Ed from Runnable. I'm actually at the Berlin half marathon in the event village. You see behind me. It's amazing actually. Really massive turnout, I think, all over the place. Lots from England. I'm getting proper FOMO at the moment because I'm not actually running in this. So I'm here spectating. Something went wrong. I was meant to run in this, and somebody forgot to buy the tickets and they got sold out, and we'd booked all the accommodation. So there you go. That's a lesson learnt. If you want to get the tickets for your half marathon and marathon, make sure you book them yourselves. Don't rely on other people. Anyway, it should be great. I might try and get a bit of the end footage. Even though I'm not running, I've got my new favourite trainers, the Evo SLs, on my feet. And yeah, if I was running today, who knows, I might even run in them. But I'm not. So, go see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, the marathon's in full swing. Half marathon, sorry. You got this nice music. This has given me major deja vu for the Berlin Marathon, which I did last year. It's a massive half marathon, this one. There you go, look at these quite quick runners, not far off the end now. Let's see the time. This will be the 1 hour 30 brigade, 1 hour 40 runners here. Let's see if I can overtake a few of them. Well, good effort. Well done. Look at this. Super cool. Got super FOMO there. I think my SLs wish they were down here as well. Wish they were running. No, you wish you were running, yeah? Cool. So these guys are on for a sort of 1 hour 40, 1 hour 50, depending on how they finish. Good effort though. They don't look tired enough to me. I need to run harder. I'm completely shattered by the end of my half marathons. And they're making their way to the Brandenburg Gate. Let's follow them for a bit. Must be one of the biggest half marathons in Europe, this one now. It certainly ends the same way that the full marathon does at the Brandenburg gates. Go a little bit beyond the gates in the full marathon. Be interested to see if that actually happens in this one. Great atmosphere. I'm definitely coming to do this half marathon, no doubt about that, unless I do the full marathon again. I've got a bit of unfinished business in that marathon for sure, just like I have London. I did it in 2:56, but for the first 10k of that marathon I was kind of hemmed in, really struggling to get in a flow, mainly because getting in the pens was such a hard thing. I ended up right at the back of my pen, and I'm pretty sure there was nobody supervising the pen, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of runners in there who shouldn't have been. So when it came to actually trying to get a bit of flow, I couldn't. There's a lot of stopping and starting and dodging and weaving, just like I'm doing now actually through all this crowd. Just trying to keep up with the runners now. We get a bit of a better feel once we get past all these crowds. Okay, I'll keep my camera on the runners. But yeah, they've got absolutely perfect running weather today. You could not wish for better weather than this. I mean, sunshine but cold. Wow. Lucky, very lucky these guys. And considering on Friday here it was 20 degrees, hot and muggy, and now it's 6 degrees max, probably not even that, and sunny, just perfect. It was probably a bit cold at the start, I was anyway, when I was down by the event village, but now it's perfect. I've got utmost respect for anyone who runs a half marathon. It's one of those distances that really, for any runner, really makes you work. You can kind of get away with it with 5 and 10Ks, but with a half, there's no hiding. If you're not fully trained for it, you're going to struggle. And it's one of those distances that you can do quite often throughout the year, unlike marathons, and build up your fitness. So they're really nice races for your training plans as well. So this year I managed to do 4 half marathons, building up to what is going to be my first marathon of the year, London. Let's get closer to the runners now. Kind of nice running by the side of it. It's like I'm racing, like I'm finishing with them. Let's see how far I can get running this way. Got a couple of Trent Park club runners here somewhere. I'll be looking out for them. Hopefully they'll have their tops on so I can see who they are. Right, it's going to be a bit difficult now to see. Okay, weaving in and out people now. Closest thing to actually being in the race, running by the side of them. It's quite nice. Not many half marathons you can actually do this. Pavements aren't wide enough, but I'm able to do it, which is kind of cool. You are nearly there. You're all heroes. That's how it says, and they are. Let's go now. I'm going to shut up for a bit and just let you take in the atmosphere. So good. We're coming up to the gates as well. The Brandenburg gates, that is. There's a woman with pink sleeves, arm sleeves, running. I'm going to try and keep up with her. She looks to be going at a pace where I might be able to. Just like dodging and weaving. Right, this could be it actually. No, it's not quite it yet. We can go this way. Sorry, you're not seeing much now. Appreciate that. Good idea. Just here. Look there, it's also good spot. Look at that iconic finish there. Brandenburg Gates. What a massive. Look at this. This is huge. Amazing. Let's see if we can get a bit closer.
Ihr Lieben, lasst euch feiern! Auf den letzten Metern eures Laufs! Über 21 Kilometer in den Beinen! New Beine! Finisher! Willkommen im Ziel!
Oh, cool.
Welcome at the finish line!
Right, we're at the gates. Let's see if I can see they're running on. This might be tricky now to get much closer, we'll see. It's like we're actually running it. Ooh. Let's see where we get to. That's all, there's a bit of a roadblock here. People not knowing what they're doing. Let's see if I can get any further or not. Doesn't look like it. Hang on a sec. Are they letting people through there? Don't think so. I think this is it, folks. I can get any further than that. Just a little video of them coming through. These are obviously finishers. Definitely not allowed through. That guy tried. I think that's it, guys. Let's see if I can get to the point where they finish. Doubt it somehow, but we'll try. But I'm going to sign off now. If there's anything else worth showing you, I will. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I did. It was a shame I wasn't running, but you can't always run. Yeah, makes me wanna. It's given me major FOMO to come back here and do this race. Let's have a look. You can just see the through there, can't you? Where they're finishing. Don't know if you can see that. That's where they're finishing.
Gut, dann fangen wir an.
Well done. These are the 2-hour marathon finishes, half marathon finishes, sorry. Two hours, very respectable time for half marathons. Good effort, guys. So close. Keep going.
Okay, so some key stats around this shoe. So in my UK size 9.5, I went up half a size. I think that was just about right. I think It's close to being true to size, but I just found that it would have been maybe slightly too short for a daily trainer, which I'm looking to do lots of miles in. So I went up half a size. I'm glad I did that. But honestly, I think the majority of you will be fine true to size. So I wouldn't get too worried if you haven't gone up half a size or you've already bought this trainer. I think it's fine. True to size will probably work for you. Like I said, 235 grams, so it's quite light for a daily trainer. If we compare it to the Mach X2, which I think is a rival of this shoe, this is around about 260 grams in my UK 9.5. And another rival is the Superblast. This is somewhere around 250 in my UK size 9. So in terms of weight, it's super competitive against those shoes that I've just mentioned, and pretty much every single other daily trainer in the marketplace. At 235 grams, it feels remarkably light on your feet, but that's not at the detriment of comfort. So you've got a nice 38 millimeters of cushion in the heel. You've got a 6 millimeter drop. So you've got a 32 millimeter cushion in the forefoot. That's ample for what you need for the daily trainer, for doing lots of mileage. You feel really nice and cushioned in this shoe. But what we'll go on to talk about, which is more important, is the geometry of the shoe, which is an absolute dream. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they're the key stats. Now, if we talk about the upper, you've got a lovely engineered mesh upper. It's kind of a racy feel to it without being too constrictive. You've got a decent amount of room in the forefoot. I've got quite a wide foot, and often with Adidas shoes I have a real struggle because of that, but not this shoe. I found this shoe gave me ample space. It does taper in a bit at the toes. Again, a reason why I went up half a size, but actually I think I could have probably just about got away with true to size in this shoe because it is a little bit wider than a lot of the other shoes, Adidas shoes. So typically if you find Adidas shoes a bit of a struggle because you have got wide feet, this may actually work for you, which is a good thing. You've got a really nice cushion around the heel collar. You've got like a kind of rigid-ish heel counter. It's kind of looser at the top and more rigid towards the bottom. I did feel that slightly on my heel at times, particularly when I was cinching the laces tight. But actually when I went on the run, I kind of forgot about it. It didn't cause any particular rubbing on my heel or Achilles, so that was fine. I got good lockdown in the shoe. There are some downsides with the shoe's upper. The main thing is the laces. Again, Adidas are providing these really poor, I don't know what you would call them, cheap laces. They're not particularly great. They're not particularly long either. So if you do a runner's knot like I like to, you don't get a lot of lace left to do your bow. And the tongue is short. So again, to really pull it to actually get enough length on the tongue. You do have some decent little pillows on the tongue. Let me see if I can show you here, which you can cinch the laces down onto and get a decent lockdown. But because the laces are quite narrow, you do potentially, if you cinch them too tight, you can still get a little bit of lace bite. So the upper's a really nice upper, but it's not perfect. And those things that I've just mentioned would be really easy for Adidas to fix in this shoe. So if I was going to score this upper out of 5, I'd probably give it around about a 4 out of 5. It's really nice and comfortable, but the laces and also the tongue lose it a mark because I think you know, they are quite important, and I feel like Adidas have let themselves down a little bit with this shoe. By the way, the tongue is not gusseted either, so you do have to fiddle a little bit around the edges with this tongue because it tends to curl up around the sides here that you can see. So it's a little bit fiddly, but all in all, decent upper, but 4 out of 5. In the outsole, you've got your Continental grip. I think it's really nice. You know, I can't really fault it. What I would say though is, I think there's potential. You can see this bit worn away already. There's potential for the heel part, particularly you heel strikers, this area to cut off. You know, it looks like I'm catching it just about there, which is unusual for me. I do most of my landing around this part here. Very rarely catch my heel. So for some reason, I'm catching it there. And I could see this I may catch this part of the heel, this rubber here, and this could potentially come off. So just to be warned, I think there might be a potential issue there, something to be wary of. But grip wise, it was great. Went on a lot of different types of terrain in England and in Germany, and it coped with it very well. That's the outsole. Midsole now. This is Lightstrike Pro. This is the same Lightstrike Pro that you get in the version 3, the Pro 3. Not the Pro 4, not the TPE, but the new TPE that's in the Pro 4, but the Adidas Pro 3, that foam. You also get it in the Prime X and the vast majority of the Prime X 2. It's a great foam. It's kind of dense, but bouncy and springy. You do need to break it in a little bit. Now, this is well and truly broken in now. I must have done about 60k in this in the last few days, and it's getting better and better. And that is a consistent property of Lightstrike Pro, the original. I call it the original, but you know, version 3 of the shoe, because you know it takes a bit of breaking in because it is a dense foam. But once you do that, it just seems to get better and better. And throughout this 60k of my runs, this shoe seems to have, you know, the foam seems to be getting better and better for me. So that's a really good sign. I love the geometry of this shoe. So they base that off the racing shoe, the Evo. And they've got this 60% rocker, so it starts earlier. Same with the Adidas Pro 4. And it really suits where I land, because I land just around about where the rocker starts, and it flows me through my stride. It's effortless to run in this shoe, it really is. So we'll talk a bit more about running in a minute, but generally this midsole I think is really good. There's a shank, like a plate in the midfoot area, just about where my finger is pointing here. So it's not a full length plate. I believe it's a nylon plate, a nylon shank plate, and it's around about there. And that gives you a little bit of extra pop and gives you a little bit more stability in the midfoot, because it reduces the flexibility of that area and makes it a bit more stable. Something just to know. Lots of people have said this shoe is plateless. Technically that is true. But it does have this shank here, which is, I'll show you a picture of it in the video. But it is quite substantial, right? So arguably you could argue that it's got like a midfoot plate in this shoe, but you don't really feel it, other than that you know that it adds to the stability of the shoe. It's not, I wouldn't describe this as a really stable shoe, it's a neutral shoe, but that obviously helps in that regard. Okay, so the midsole I absolutely love. I think you're going to love it if you're like me, if you land around here, but even if you land a bit further back, you engage that rocker. I do find the heel is fine as well. You may wear it away like I talked about, but it's wide enough for you heel strikers. And I think all in all, great shoe and great midsole. One that I think is going to do many miles, provided this rubber keeps up. It, like I said, it feels effortless to run in this shoe with this marvelous foam. So let's talk a bit about the runs. So I did one in England, a short run, then a 25k run, which was really nice. The 25k one in particular felt really nice in this shoe. I started to break the shoe in in that run, and then it came to me in Berlin. Berlin's a long story, but I was originally going to run that half marathon, left it up to somebody else to book it, and it didn't get booked in time, and they sold out. But we booked hotels and whatever else, so lesson learned, Ed. So we went anyway. Family went, and we enjoyed our time in Berlin. I went and watched the half marathon. It was kind of, although I was having a bit of FOMO, it was kind of nice to be able to watch other runners do it and not go through the pain, but you know what I mean. When they were getting close to the end near the Brandenburg gates, I could see them all celebrating, and it kind of brought a smile to my face. It's nice to be on the other side sometimes, and that's what it felt like for me. I had these on. I was at one point running alongside the people that were racing and trying to keep up with them in this shoe. And the shoe was fantastic. I ran all over Berlin in the shoe, to be honest. Did some serious mileage out there. Enjoyed every minute of it. It's definitely becoming my favorite daily trainer. It puts itself above the Mach X2, which was my current favorite, and also the Superblast original. I haven't got the 2, but the original, which is probably my go-to trainer for mileage and marathon training. Now this has become my go-to marathon trainer for me. It's because it's so light. I love the geometry though. I think that's what works most for me. I love this early stage rocker. I think Adidas shoes really suit me. The way their recent shoes anyway, the way they've got this 60%, this rocker that starts earlier, really suits the way I run. And so they're becoming go-to shoes for me. And you can imagine a rotation where you have this eating up all the miles, and then you have the Pro 4 as you save it for your race days, and they would work so well together. So yeah, so I can't really fault this much at all. The only downsides with this shoe is literally what I've just mentioned. The laces, rubbish, the tongue not long enough, and this area here is weirdly wearing away. Now, have I just worn away this silver paint here, or is there something more sinister going on around here? Am I catching something here? So we will see. But that's it for me. If Adidas can fix the laces and the tongue, they've got almost the perfect training shoe here. So all in all, I think I can highly recommend this shoe. It's a first run review, but it's more than that. I've done about 60k in it now, so I can confidently say this is a real banger of a shoe, as certain people might say, or as I say, if I'm got this shoe on, let's have it, Ed, because this brings a smile to my face, makes me want to go fast. That's the other thing, by the way, you can go fast in this shoe and it feels easy. I wouldn't go so far to say I could race in this shoe, but if you asked me to do a park run tomorrow and you all said, Ed, wear this shoe and see where you get to, I would do it and I wouldn't be worried about it, which I can't say the same for many other shoes. Like I would not wear the Superblast for a park run. I just feel it would be too bulky, too awkward. Whereas this actually feels quite nimble on my feet. It's light, it's not that big, but it's stable enough and really nice and cushioned. So yes, I could do a park run in this shoe. I think I would miss the plate a little bit, the carbon plate, but I still think it would perform well. But equally, once I slowed the pace down, I thought this was fine as well. I think it's maybe not quite as good as the Neo Zen or the Novablast 5 for those really slow paces. I wouldn't necessarily use this for recovery runs, but it's a very versatile shoe that I think you can do some of your slow runs with, but you can pick up the pace. You could even do interval training in this shoe and it wouldn't let you down. So I think as an all-rounder, this is right up there with the very best, daily trainers on the market. In fact, I'm struggling to think of a better shoe at the moment. I think the only shoe in my mind that can compete with it is the Hoka Mach X2. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I think maybe at the faster paces, this is even quicker because of that nylon plates even. It's a bit poppier. But this, I think, is a bit more elegant to run in. And you kind of glide along in this shoe. It's got a nice little bounce because of the Lightstrike Pro. But it's the geometry that I think really works for me. I hit and I flow through. And it's that kind of motion where you get this nice pitter patter as well. I love everything about how it feels to run in this shoe. It doesn't feel awkward at all. It feels very natural for me at all paces. And I can't say that about that many shoes. I think the Mach X2 is a shoe that I could say that about. But I do think this is even more elegant to run in than that shoe. More natural to run in than that shoe. It's way less hollow feeling than this shoe. The Lightstrike Pro feels a lot denser, but like bouncy and less hollow, less empty than I feel with the Superblast at times, which does have a hollow feeling to it. I'm a lighter runner, 63, 64 kg, and I often feel with this shoe that I struggle to break the foam down and get the kind of response that I want from the foam. Whereas I'm getting that from the Evo SL because I just think the foam is a little bit easier for me to compress, and I get a nice bit of decompression and a nice bounce. It's nothing too dramatic, nothing that makes the shoe really unstable. Well, while we're talking about stability, let's go through some other categories then, so you get an idea overall of what I think. In terms of stability, I wouldn't say this is the most stable of shoes, but you've got a decent landing area in the forefoot. It's not too narrow in the midfoot or heel. So I think it's going to be okay for most people. You don't have big sidewalls or anything like that. You do have a little bit, you see a little bit here that keeps your foot a little bit locked in, but they're not massive, but they're enough just to give you that a little bit of support. You do get good lockdown. So all in all, I think it's a neutral shoe. It's not a neutral stable shoe, but it's a neutral shoe. So I think the majority of runners, you should be fine in this shoe. Just bear in mind, although it has that shank to give you a bit of midfoot stability, it reduces the flex there, that increases stability. It isn't a stability shoe, and there aren't loads of stability features in this shoe. Durability, well, that's one of the question marks I have. Will that be a durable outsole? I think the foam is bound to be durable, given, I've run in the Prime X original, and that lasted for ages. That foam was really durable. It's the same foam. So I think the foam will be durable. I think the outsole might wear out, though, before the foam. In terms of pace, you can pick up the pace in this shoe. It's really nice at those quicker paces. It feels effortless to run along in it. It's along with the Mach X2. These are the two shoes that if I had to throw away all my carbon plate shoes tomorrow, please God, no. But if I did, these were the two I would pick to do my racing in. And I'd be upset about that, right? But not that upset because I've got these, right? So pace-wise, I think this is one of the quicker daily trainers there out in the market, and then you could do intervals and you could race in this shoe. You could definitely do 10Ks, half marathons in this shoe, and I don't think you'd have an issue. Maybe the two extremes, the 5K, you might want something a bit poppier, and for the marathon, you may go for something even more cushioned and a little bit more stable. But in between 10K half marathon, if you're thinking you want to race in something, but it hasn't got a plate, you don't want a plate, I would pick this shoe above pretty much all shoes. Maybe just this one, the Hoka Mach X2, might pip it for some of the faster paces. Okay, so that's pace. In terms of price, great price as well. I paid £134 for this new colourway, this silver and grey colourway. I really love the look of this shoe. I think that's, excuse me, considering you've got race foam throughout this shoe, I think that's an incredible value for money from Adidas. I salute you, Adidas, you know, not ripping us off for once. It's better value than the Hoka, which is up at 160. A lot better value than the Superblast or Superblast 2, which I know is nearer 200. So this shoe represents great value for money. So that's another tick for this shoe compared to its competitors. In terms of overall kind of look and feel, I think you can see that I'm absolutely loving the look of this shoe. If you wear it down the gym, people are going to look at it and think, wow. It's got a real wow factor, but it doesn't look ridiculous because it isn't massive on your foot. So yeah, I think looks wise, feel wise, it's great. So all in all, I'm not really faulting the shoe at all, apart from the tongue and laces. And I'll say that again. Adidas, if you sort that out, you've got an absolute winner in this shoe. It can do everything. But just sort out the laces. It can't be that hard for you to supply decent laces. It can't be that hard for you to make a tongue that's long enough so you can cinch your laces down without worrying it's going to slip off the edge. But that's the only thing, right? There might be a slight problem with durability, but I don't know yet. I've not run enough in the shoe to know. So that's pretty much all I want to say. Watch some of the run footage if you haven't yet. It's an absolute winner for me. And yeah, thank you for listening. I've rambled a bit, but it's because I'm so happy that I got this shoe and I got it at last. And I know a lot of you already have it and you're probably thinking, Ed, why didn't you get it before? I was waiting for different colorways, if I'm being honest. I didn't want the white and black one because I've already got the Pro 4 in that color. The rest had sold out, so I'm glad I waited now because I've got this. I'm going to do a lot of my taper in this shoe. Please put in the comments how much you like or dislike this shoe. If you think I'm talking out of my, or if you agree with me. Let me know if you've had any durability issues like this. I'm slightly worried about that. Whether you agree about the laces and the tongue, and how you think the shoe is overall. Is it one of your favorite daily trainers, or do you think that the Mach X2 is actually a better bet, or even the Superblast or Superblast 2? And I think the Superblast 2 or Superblast, they may pick this shoe for the really long runs. So, you know, when you're doing your 20 milers, you just got that extra cushion. And this Mach X2 might pip it for the quicker runs, but this is, I feel, overall a better value and a more versatile shoe. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I'll see you later. Bye bye.